So often when people hit fairway woods, they tend to do two things wrong. They either top them or duff them. In today's video, we're going to give you some simple golf tips to help you hit better fairway woods, both off the tee and of course off the deck. Hi everyone, my name's James, and if you want to get good at golf, then make sure you do hit that subscribe button and of course throw a like on today's video. So we're going to start off with a 3-wood off the floor, so off the deck, and so often I see people who will stand up to the ball and you're hitting a fairway wood because you want to hit it nice and far, and then all of a sudden that's the kind of shot we get. You can see that the golf song's given us the perfect numbers there, a 2-yard carry. Now that's not ideal, and it sure as hell isn't what we want to be doing. So what's happened there for me to catch the top of that golf ball so upsettingly, I think we could say? If we have a look at the numbers here, you can see that we've actually cut across the ball quite a lot with a close face angle, and that means that essentially what we're doing here is from the top of the backswing, we're coming this way over the ball. But the reason why we've caught the top of the ball is because we're coming this way and we're actually moving the sternum back. So if we move our sternum back, we have to then throw the hands at the ball. And you might say, well, that's okay, James, but I do that and I do it quite successfully. I'm a handsy golfer and I know that I can hit good golf shots. So if I try and hit you a shot where my sternum stays back and I'm a bit handsy, I've tried to rescue that. It's got airborne, it's a better shot. You can see it's still moving out to the left. Now the issue here is not that I've hit that ball left, because a lot of people might top it, you might duff it. The big thing is, where's your low point with this club? So if I'm handsy and I keep my sternum back, the low point could generally be about here. And that's quite worrying. We do see that with people often, but also the issue could potentially be, if I'm handsy, that could be the shot that I hit. So that goes out to the right. And if Bobby wasn't stood in front of the camera, it would have picked that up and would have shown us. So I'll show you one more time just to see where that goes. Potentially, because I'm so handsy and I'm manipulating that club head with the sternum behind me, I always think about, if I think of a car towing a caravan or towing a trailer or towing anything, generally the car always has to be in control. So the car's going around the corner first, the car slows down, the caravan or the trailer moves nicely with it. If the car slams its brakes on, the caravan doesn't have any brakes, so that then jackknifes and everyone dies, which is awful, obviously, Bobby, isn't it? And it's all your fault. But if I have, basically, the car's, you've lost me there, haven't you? So the car is my sternum, and this is the caravan. So as long as the sternum's in front all the time, it's loading nicely. If all of a sudden it goes behind and the caravan takes over, that's the jackknife move there, and that's what we don't want. But if you can leave the club face open, that's the shot that you see. It's the same kind of idea. It's the same sternum back, throw it at it. So what we want to make sure that we do here is we want to make sure that that sternum's always rotating towards the target. So I'm thinking that as I come down into impact, that sternum stays nice and central, and as soon as I've hit that ball, I move up into my finishing position, projecting that at the target. So it should, in essence, look a little bit more like that. So you can see that's a much better shot. It's launching nicely, it's down the fairway, and that's pitching at 220 yards. So it's a lot further than the 2 yards we had initially. And how can I tie that in to something else? How can I tie that in to just striking the ball better? So if I bring an alignment rod in here and I think, right, I want to make sure that I'm stood with 60% of weight on my left side at address. And you're thinking, that can't be right because it always needs to be 50-50. That's not necessarily the case, because if you're stood with your weight at 50-50 and you've got your chest in the middle, where can I really go from there? I've got nowhere to push off of, nowhere to launch from, but if I've got 60% of my weight on my left foot, all of a sudden I can move off and load up to the top of the backswing, and we know that at the top of the backswing, I want the majority of my weight where, Rob? Exactly that, on the right side. So from here, now I can turn my hips into the downswing, and all of a sudden when it gets to impact, the majority of the weight's back on the left-hand side of that alignment stick. So it's something really simple. If I was going to throw a golf ball here, I would never throw a golf ball, stand 50-50 and just go like that, because that wouldn't necessarily do what I want it to do. If I wanted to throw a golf ball, I would stand here, 60% of my weight left, I'd load up onto the right side, and again I'd get through into that left side, projecting everything towards that target. So if we do that now, essentially what I'm thinking is the same. So 60%, as I take the club back and it's parallel to the ground, we're more 60% on the right side. From there, load up more, so I'm more 70% on the right side, and I can then rotate down and get that weight into the left side. The beauty about that is it allows me to take the club back nice and shallow to the ground. So I'm maintaining the dynamic loft of this fairway wood. Essentially, what I'm thinking of doing is keeping it low, keeping the loft, and then unloading the loft there. So you can see again, that's a nice high shot straight down the middle of that fairway. I'm starting to get a little bit more consistency in the ball flight that I'm getting. The big factor here is getting the strike and not hanging back, topping it, or even duffing it, like we said earlier on in this video. So it's something really simple, guys, that can potentially help you hit much better shots with your fairway woods. And it's a real simple, easy one. Keep the club low and allow your weight to move around your body, so when you load it up, you can unload it into that ball. Guys, if that helps you, then make sure you hit that subscribe button below, and if it does, throw a like on it, and we'll see you tomorrow.